Let's try this. All right, we're recording now. We're good. Jesus.
Okay, good, sweet.
All right.
Okay, yay, that's fun.
Move you over so I can actually see you now.
Okay.
There we go. Hi, Morgan. All right, hello everybody.
Hi,
And welcome
sorry about all that, guys.
to episode 25 of the AWAKEN Vlogcast. Today we're talking about soul families. We're doing this a little bit different today because technical difficulties, so we had to do this via Zoom, so we're recording so that we can upload this later. So sorry for those who have missed it when we were live. We have a couple people on here with us. Sorry about that. We're doing the best we can. So
We are. We're just going with the flow.
And if you hop on in the middle of this, you can also still comment. We can see your comments in the chat box and things like that. So just bear with us. This is the last one of the year and the last one of the decade. So we're trying to get this out there.
And it's been a crazy year, so
it makes total sense that this, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So, all right. Well, as far as starting, do you want to start? Do you want me to start? You know, I've got my notes.
Sure. You always have notes. I never have notes, but I happen to have my computer up. We finally have internet at the new house, so I'm just
exciting.
Awesome. So I chose the topic today because Ashton and I go back and forth, and I was like, how about we talk about soul families? Because I feel like I've been saying that a lot, and I've been noticing that a lot. You know, Ashton's my soul family.
You're totally
for sure.
My soul family, 100%.
I mean, you just are. And those of you watching, I think you're soul family too, because we just connect, you know. And if we're not on Facebook Live, so random people aren't watching, but I didn't always know what a soul family was. And when I started hearing that term, I was like, okay, what is that? And, you know, is your family, like your in-person family, is that your soul family? And that's not always the case. Like your soul family can be anybody. It can be, I mean, Ashton and I were strangers, over 2 years ago, and then we met, and you just connect with people.
Yes.
So
that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Like how all that works.
So from the little bit that I've learned, it's just, these are people or souls that you're just connected with over time and space and dimensions. And I mean, you could have been together since the beginning. You could have been together for 100 lifetimes or 1 billion lifetimes or whatever. I mean, when you're talking infinity, it's hard to say. And so it's really cool. It's just really cool to find your soul family, because those are people that you can just be real with, you connect with, like they get what you're saying before you even say it. Or if you're having trouble finding the words, like I do all the time, they're like, no, I just get it. Like it's almost telepathic.
Telepathy.
Yeah, it's a telepathic connection. Exactly, yeah, excellent point. So I thought it'd be a good topic today, just because everything going on in the world, everyone's awakening journey, all the struggles that we're going through, just all the shit the world is going through. Like, we have to find our soul family and connect with them. Super because important. I believe they help keep us grounded, and they help keep us, I don't know, just enlightened and learning and challenged in a way. So
I agree with that.
I love my soul fam.
Yeah. Debbie Joe just said, oh my gosh, you're both my soul family, by the way.
Totally. I know.
Up in the chat.
I didn't get the pop-up in the chat, but so if you get you read them, since I'm not seeing them.
I've got it. I got it pulled up on both, so we won't miss them.
Cool.
So yeah, I totally agree with all of that, and some of the notes that I took. So I'm going to go over soul family, the purpose, the connections, the chance meeting, the recognition, the relationship, and the duration of meeting your soul family. Those are the things that I have notes on to cover today. And bear with me because I had to write really small because there's so much. But I only have so much room on my whiteboard. I just need to get another whiteboard. But I like this one because for my lives. All right. So, yeah. So everything that Morgan said, we're definitely soul family. Like, I knew we were soul family from the moment we met. And, it's been really cool to, watch each other evolve as long as we've known each other. Like, we've both of us have grown tremendously even since we first met. Like, it's so crazy.
We have.
And the fact that we met at a networking event type thing, that's just so funny.
Like a super
sterile
not corporate thing, but just
but it was
just kind of a bore. It was BNI, and you meet every day or every week at the same time and share about your business. And so it's you have to be there on time, and there's all this etiquette. So it's totally not how we are naturally.
All these boxes that you have to check to be in it. It's exactly what it was. Exactly. They were like, fuck this.
But that's where we met, and that's where all this started. And so we're grateful for that box that we were in, that we are no longer in.
We get to break out of that shit. Break that glass ceiling. All right, so I'm going to start with just my notes, and feel free to chime in on any of these if you have input on them too. So first of all, what is soul family? So soul family is the spiritual equivalent to your birth family here on earth. They may take form of a relative here on earth, or it could be anyone in your life. And when you meet them, they feel like your siblings, your parents, children. You and your soul family share the same oversoul, so you are all aspects of the same soul. And I wish that we could do like a graphic to show this, what it's talking about.
I was going to say oversoul. I haven't heard.
Yeah, so like the greater of the soul, and then it like breaks it down. There's a pretty cool graphic with it. And the purpose of meeting your soul family is to love, nurture, support, guide, protect, and help you. Soul family members help align you with your soul's purpose and will accelerate your spiritual growth, which is, I believe, 100% accurate. Because I know in my journey, you were one of my first people that I met that I was like, holy shit, she's definitely soul family. Like, I just knew. Yeah. And like, things did change, I think, faster when we did start hanging out and getting together. And then especially for me, I can talk this year for myself, like the amount of work and things that I was doing this year alone, I've met so much more of my soul family just in this year. It's been crazy. I'm just like, where have you been all my life? but now we're ready.
So long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. Connections. So connections with soul family are like human families. Within the large family tree, there are smaller groups of souls who form core family units. So that's what we're talking about, the oversoul. If you see the picture of all of it, it like branches down. And this is what we were also just talking about chance meetings. So if you have soul family that's incarnated on earth, then the chance of meeting is strong. Spiritually, you will be aware of each other, and you will be intuitively drawn together. It may take many years, but when it's time and the time is right, you will come together.
Mm-hmm. It's all about timing.
Yeah, it really is. It's divine timing. So if you're not ready for that maybe spiritual growth or, that chance thing, you're not going to meet them right away. But when you're ready to receive, that's when they come across. Debbie Jo said, yes, this year has been a huge year. This year, I will say 2019 for sure has been a purging, a healing, just bringing all your shit to light year, all the shadows, because with us raising, collective consciousness and the vibration of the earth and all these things have to be purged. In order to do that, though, they have to be brought to the light first. And I can speak only from my experience. But I've had a lot of shit happen this year. So I've had quantum growth. And I know of a lot of people who have been going through a lot of stuff this year. So it's not just me. It's the collective is experiencing that. And I think that's very interesting because 2020 is going to be huge as far as energetically. So that's why we have to purge everything now, so that we're ready in alignment with a clean slate for 2020. So I think that's pretty cool.
I feel like 2020 is going to be like epic, and not like everything's going to be perfect, but there's going to be so much happen in 2020. And so we had to work through all of this stuff in 2019 to be ready for 2020, because it's going to be even more intense.
Yes.
And
I think
it's
even
kind
as
of like,
us too.
Oh yeah. It's hard to put it into words, but it's almost like 2019 was like, if you're building a house, was kind of like readying the ground for your foundation. And maybe you've started to build the foundation a little bit, and then we're going to get into really starting to build up the structure of your house. But you have to have that solid foundation, and if you haven't done like the shadow work, and you haven't started working on yourself and purging, like you can't build anything on that. You have to work through all of that crap. Otherwise, you're just going to keep going through the same crap over and over again, and you're not going to grow, and you're not going to heal. Yeah, it'll keep collapsing. So it was really important to go through all of this. And that doesn't mean like we're free of all that stuff. We're still going to have things that come up and still have growth opportunities, and shit is still going to happen. but this was a really major year for growth and awakening. Like I feel it. So many people in the collective,
Hell
they're
yes.
awakening, they're noticing
It's
these
awesome.
things. And I see it. And I know a lot of people are, social media is stupid. A lot of people on there complaining, but at least with my circle, my soul family, I see people vocalizing what they're passionate about,
Same.
standing up against injustice, and like
Yep.
speaking their
Speaking
truth,
their
and
truth. Yep. That was weird.
pointing out
Talk
the
about
bullshit. And I mean, it feels so amazing to not be alone, and for everyone to be combining their voices into the collective and saying, I'm done with this. I'm ready to move on. Let's be awesome together, and let's be awesome individually, and let's change all of this crap that's been going on for God knows how many years, thousands of years, tens of thousands of years. I don't know.
And that's what happens
Going on
too, is
forever.
just it all starts with us speaking our truth individually first, and then it's like other people hear or see that, and then they're like, that gives them kind of courage to do the same. And then once
Mhm.
it's like the analogy I use all the time about the paper lanterns, how that's one of my favorite visuals I've ever seen. Like, I lit this paper lantern and I thought it was so beautiful and so bright, and then I let it go into the sky, and then I look up and everyone else is also releasing their lanterns, and now this single bright lantern is now, the sky is literally lighting up from all these lanterns, from everybody shining their own individual light, and together collectively it's a huge, bright, beautiful sight. That's what's happening right now, and it's so exciting.
I love it.
We got some comments. Let me go back up. So Debbie Jo said, agreed, it's going to be epic. Yes, my foundation is built. I'm ready to start already. Keena said, that has definitely been my year too. We were talking about 2019 being that type of year. Jamie said, purge and breakthrough to the next level up. You two have been so helpful to me this year. Thank you both. Thank you. I'm glad we can be that for you. And then Debbie Jo said, yes, level up. Me too. Both these badasses have been pivotal in my growth. Thank you. That's so awesome. You guys are great.
You're badass too.
Yeah.
Too. You're all badass.
You guys are. Okay, honestly, Morgan and I talk. We don't say names, okay? But we talk together about all of the people that we've seen growth and change and all these things. Like, we talk about those things, and we do see it. We see all of you doing that, and it's really exciting. Like, I was actually talking to myself, because I talk to myself a lot. I was talking to myself earlier today or yesterday. I think it was earlier today, and I was just saying out loud, how cool is it that something that was just a thought in Morgan and I's head that we discussed out loud. We spoke our truths one day, and we were like, hey, we're just talking about these things, and then together we were like, hey, we should make this thing and hold this space for these other people.
We should do this.
And not only did we just say we were going to do it, we fucking did it. And then we've created the space, and the amount of people that it's impacted. We've been doing this almost a year now, and it's so cool to see that. Like, and that all started because we were starting with ourselves individually, and then came together, and then it just is rippled effect from there. It's just exciting.
And we weren't worried like, oh, what are people going to think? We're like,
we wing it. Like, we just go and flow. That's the whole point.
We need to talk about these things.
Yeah.
All these things that we know other people think about, but they don't have anyone to talk about with. Like, we need to put that out there so people realize they're not alone. And we say that all the time. I hashtag that a lot. I'm like, hashtag not alone, because you're not. And a lot of people, they feel alone. And I think that is part of kind of going back to soul families. That's kind of our responsibility is we have to speak up and show that we're here so that others can find us and connect with us. Because if we're too scared or timid about what's the world going to think about us, or how is this going to affect my image or my business or any of that, like, you're weakening yourself, and that doesn't do any good to your soul family who is kind of out there. They're kind of waiting for you.
You're doing a disservice to the collective.
Exactly.
And to yourself.
Yeah. Don't do that. You got to be awesome. Just embrace your awesomeness.
And I'm not saying that it's not hard to do those things. I mean, I'm sure Morgan has her own story with it too. I can only speak for mine. I know for me, for a fact, when I first started getting into energy work and all these things years ago, right? I mean, I've been doing this for over 5 years now. So years ago when I was doing these things, I remember how uncomfortable it was to talk about doing energy work even with people, or like the things that people would say, or the feedback, and like all these thoughts and things that would go in my head. It's really interesting to see that I just pushed through it. I just knew that that was in alignment with me. That was my sole purpose, and I just kept doing it. And to now see, here we are over 5 years later, how things have evolved, how that conversation, even around energy work or Reiki, is so like mainstream now. Like, it's so cool to see that. I'm glad I did not speak my truth because of the way it made me feel at first, because now look at the impact I've made because I spoke my truth. The amount of people I've been able to help in over 5 years is like mind-blowing.
I know. And then you think about when you help those people helping people. I mean, it's that ripple effect.
And that's what gets excited for me. Like, so not only helping people with Reiki, but also being a Reiki master teacher, teaching Reiki. So then those people go out and they impact people, and it just keeps going forever. It's so cool.
Yeah. I need to do level 2. I need to like come over.
Just let me know. I got you.
I know. I'm like, it's been a while since I've done 1, and I need to do 2. And I probably need a refresher. So.
Well, when you don't use it, you don't lose it with Reiki. Just FYI, people.
That's
for those of you who've been
told
otherwise, that's a lie. Yeah, self-Reiki is the most important for sure.
I know. And I need to teach my kids.
Yes. So I actually taught my niece, she just turned 3 on last Friday. I taught her how to do Reiki about a year ago. I was just playing around with her. She hurt her foot, and I started doing Reiki on her foot, and I told her what I was doing, and she liked it, and she kept pulling my hands back. So and she remembered that even at 2. So now when someone's hurting or whatever, she'll walk over to them and put her hands on them. It's the cutest thing.
That's amazing. Oh my God, I love it.
Because everybody has that ability. We just have to learn how to use it, channel it. That's what's interesting. So back to, we talked about the chance meeting. The next thing I had after that for soul family was recognition. So this is, for sure, I felt this every time I've met someone in soul family. So it's always the random meeting at first, where like otherwise you two probably would not have connected. That's how it's, I don't know how it's been for you meeting them, but that's how it's been every time for me. I'm just like,
it's like so random.
Like this cannot be a thing. Oh, let me read Keena's comment real quick. She said, now I have folks to share my growth with, so y'all not only encourage growth, but give us space to vocalize our light. Y'all just don't even know how alone I felt before. That's so awesome. That's exactly why we created the space.
Yes, 100%.
And I know I talk to people all day long, having messages and comments, and I know that Morgan does too, because she's got her own people too that reach out to her. Like, that's what we wanted to create, because I think that comes from a space that each of us have felt alone at some point. And we also know the power in speaking your truth. Yeah. I mean, that was a lot of my younger life. I mean, but when you discover your power in speaking your truth, you want to give that to others. Like, it's such a powerful gift. You want to be able to offer that to other people, because it literally changes their lives. And I think that no one's meant to suffer. I think that we're all meant to have an abundant, joy-filled, hopeful life. And if I can help somebody have that, I'm damn sure going to do it. That's my purpose here.
Yep.
So
that's the best. That's the best gift you can give.
Yeah, it's priceless, because that will affect the rest of their lives and whoever they impact and come in contact with. I think that's really cool. So thank you. Okay, so we talked about the chance meeting. So recognition. So when you meet your soul family, this is what happens. So you chance meet them somewhere, and sparks fly when you connect with soul family. If there's sexual attraction, then the connections can be very exciting and passionate. Other times, the connection's more like familia, but one of instant kinship. Like, you've just known them your whole life. You're just like you just know them. I don't know how else to explain it.
You're like, I know you from somewhere.
Yeah, like, where have you been? Why are you so familiar? Like, but I've never met you. So no matter the nature of the connection, you will love them and want to be with them from the instant you meet. Meaning, you'll just, when you have that spark, when you see them, you'll just instantly want to be around them often, as often as possible, obviously, because of that energetic alignment attraction is what I believe. Like, we talk about vibrations and energy on here on the lives all the time, and I think and believe that it's science, but like vibration attracts like vibration. So if you're vibrating higher and your soul family is a matched vibration, you're going to be drawn to each other like magnets. So I think that's pretty cool. Debbie Jo said, the connections have been instrumental in my personal growth and the ability to mentor a team has come with that work. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And then you're able to recognize that the more you see it, you can recognize it quicker and quicker, and then you're able to just like expand upon that with people you meet, which is cool.
Yeah.
I only got 2 more things. Okay, relationships. So soul family connections are the most loving, supportive, nurturing, and compassionate on earth. The connection is hugely powerful and undeniable. You two will be drawn together by forces stronger than anything earthly conditions. Example, gender, age, marital status, it won't matter. You may express a connection in a romantic coupling or by becoming the very best of friends. This person will always feel like family. This is the type of friendships you might have too with people. Maybe you can't see them all the time. Maybe they're in another state or something. But every time you talk, it's like you never left off. Those kind of relationships. Like you can pick it up just like that, just like you were right next to them.
Yep.
And then the last thing with soul families is the duration of how long they're in your lives. So soul family relations have the greatest longevity of any relationship. This is one that will last lifetimes and beyond, obviously, because we're energetic beings. The connection provides such an amazing love and support that no other relationship can ever surpass that. So that's what I got as far as my notes. Does anybody that's watching this, whether the live or the replay, do you have a connection like that with someone? Or have you experienced that yet? We got some more comments too. I'm going to read real quick. Debbie just said, yes, I definitely align myself differently when meeting someone for the first time, and I genuinely feel that pull to connect. It's really amazing. That's really cool. Does anybody else feel anything like that? Like, or have you met that person? Or like I said, sometimes it can be a partner. It's not necessarily just a friendship. It may be like a mate that you've attracted that way, that like when you met them, you're just like, bam, that's it. I knew it. Like I've known you my whole life, but I've just met you. Lorraine said, absolutely. I have had the real soul experience many times in this lifetime. That's so awesome. And then Debbie Jo just said, yes, with Craig. We don't even have to talk, and we are in each other's brain. That's so cool. Yes, that you've got soul family. That's great. I love that.
Awesome.
So what do you have
that
as far as
happy.
Notes for it? I mean, you don't have notes, but
I don't have notes. You know, Morgan. So I was kind of, researching stuff before. And so there's other names for soul families. Could be known as a soul group, a soul pod, soul cluster, or I like this one a lot, star family. I think that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Like star family. Because, I believe the universe is big and vast, and all the stars, and I think we've been in different lifetimes where we've come from different planets or solar systems and dimensions. And so, I mean, I'm sure we can have soul family that's from, oh gosh, hang on. There's, let's see. Is it Lyran, Syrian, Pleiadians, from all these different star systems, which that'd be a good topic to do sometime too. Because
I'm supposedly Octorian. Is it Octorian?
How do you figure that out? How did you figure that? Was it
I don't remember what I had. I had some reading done a long time ago. I've actually had a couple of readings where that's come up, but Debbie Jo said, I want a pod squad.
Pod squad. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Oh, FYI, we have 9 minutes before this shuts off.
God, that's so fast.
I know, it's stupid.
That's okay.
We're winging it, guys. We're going to make this work next time better.
We're doing our best. Oh my gosh, that made me nervous. I got me off my groove.
Sorry, you were talking about all the different solar systems.
That'd be cool to ooh, we should do like readings on each other, or something. I don't know. There's so much along with that. Okay, hang on. Let me scroll down.
We could do a Reiki live. We could do Reiki on each other live.
Oh, that'd be cool. Oh, we still need to read that emotion code book. I have to reread it, and we need to practice that on each other. Remember, we were going to do that.
Yep.
I have that book unpacked. I was organizing my books, and I found it, and I was like, I got to read that book.
Yes, I agree.
Let's see. Oh, here is one. It says most common mistakes of soul family reunions. It So sometimes we confuse soul family recognition with karmic soulmate recognition. For instance, you may think someone is your soul family member, but they robbed you in a past life, or maybe they were a business partner.
That was my ex.
Your spiritual teacher. Every type of soulmate here is here to teach you a lesson.
Touche.
But the bond of soul family will be slightly different. It sounds mean that I'm laughing, but she knows.
It's funny because you know.
Yeah.
Most
people
too.
can feel it and recognize it. And it said, like, just because someone is your soul brother, sister, etc., you assume that you owe them karmically. So just like with your bio family, you don't really owe anyone anything. You have free will with the universe. So even though you may feel a strong soul bond, you have the free will to say no to any request.
To
and you
snip
can
that shit and walk away.
Right, with your soul family, which actually that brought up a question, because I know we've talked about it before. Some soul family can come into your life and be like, it's just awful. Like in this experience, but they're there to teach you a lesson.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, not sometimes, every time, the person that causes you sometimes the most grief in this lifetime actually is your biggest teacher at the same time.
Yeah.
So like when I say that,
to think about. Yeah.
Okay, but I can say that from a personal experience, because when I'm joking about my ex, like I'm joking, but I'm also not, because as toxic as that person was, that was also the reason I had the most growth this year, because that happened. So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really powerful. So
I'm gonna read this
it's not always going to be a. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, you go. No, you go. I'll call him stop sign. You go. Oh, anyway. Debbie Jo said, been there, kick that soul to the cosmic curb. I like that, the cosmic curb.
Cosmic curb.
I like that, Debbie. Okay, Keena said, cut that fucking cord and burn the bridge. Yes, I've done that. I've done so much cord cutting and burning. It's been great. That's why I'm where I'm at now, this point in the year, after everything. And then they just said yes to each other's comments. And then Debbie Jo put fire.
A digital high five. You're like, yes.
Yeah.
High five.
That's what happened. All right.
Oh
so,
gosh.
Have you had that experience with somebody? I think you have.
I mean, I think you know what I'm thinking of. And I don't know.
I know what you're thinking of, yes.
Yeah. So my toxic mother-in-law. I've been thinking on that. I'm like, is that person soul family? Was that a lesson from soul family? And I honestly, I don't know, because we never had a connection at all. Like it never felt, there was just never any connection. So I don't know what that was. It could be. I still do soul searching with that.
Too, because
it could be a lesson, but I'm not sure that it's.
You're not sure that it's soul family
lesson.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Because it doesn't feel like it's soul family. I think it's just a lesson, a universal lesson. Maybe something to do with karma.
Well, it did teach you to speak your truth and have boundaries.
I'm super fascinated in past lives, and so I don't even know if I think, and I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, but I think this is my first time on Earth, so I don't know that I have a lot of karmic Earth stuff to work through. But that could just be being egotistical, being like, no, I'm not an Earthling. I'm from somewhere else.
Here's this. We need to have you do your Akashic record reading, and I have somebody that does it. I've had mine done. I've had 72 lifetimes, but I would be interested to see what yours were. Lorraine said, I can map most of my experiences through my relationships. If not for this experience with a certain person, I would not be who I am or where I am in life. And I 100% agree with that. Debbie Jo said, maybe she taught you to speak up at the beginning of your awakening. Which is true. I mean, you went through a lot of stuff with that. I see what she's also saying. She doesn't think it was necessarily a soul family type thing. That's all she was saying. She knows either way it was a lesson for sure from it.
Oh yeah, it was everything is a lesson if you choose to look at it that way. And it definitely did jumpstart a lot of things for 2019.
Yes.
Started in
Keena
2019.
said,
So, yeah.
I also have a friend of 20 years that I've not cord cut, but vibrationally separated. So you might still want to do that though.
Yeah.
And then
That's
Debbie
hard.
just said,
That's a long time.
yes to Lorraine. Every experience makes you who you are. That's what I was trying to say. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Tongue tied. I'm trying to hurry because I see the countdown thing and I'm trying not to remember. Okay, so we only have so much time on this one.
Have this much time. Yeah. Yeah.
So this sucks. So this could possibly be when we end up redoing in the future. We don't know what it looks like. We're just trying to make it happen today for you guys because this literally happened last minute.
We just make it better.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super
So
annoying,
thank you for dealing with all the technical difficulties with us tonight. Oh my God,
Thank you for still being here, because this was just a huge, insane mess.
I'm gonna read these last comments real quick. Keena said, so in the natural, we don't even really speak. There's nothing to share with each other. And then Debbie just said, oh my gosh, the theme music is speeding up, Morgan. Game's almost over.
I know, right?
It's funny. It is.
Like
It's almost okay. We have a minute.
You're like, oh God, okay.
We got a minute. Okay. So we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys for joining.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for the last Awaken vlogcast of 2019 and of the decade. We've got so many exciting things coming up for you guys in this new year for 2020 that we're doing with Awaken. So stay tuned, follow us. We'll figure out other ways to make this work around Facebook. It doesn't matter because we're going to speak our truth. We're going to get it out regardless. So thank you guys. We appreciate all your support and supporting us all year long doing these things. Like I said, because this was just a thought that we had one day, and to see it come to real life, it's really cool. So thank you for all your support. It means a lot to us.
Love you.
All right. Well, I hope you guys have a good night, and we will see you in 2020.
See you next year. Okay. Bye.